Thanks for staying with us, everybody. Oil and gas prices falling a little bit, but you know that all depends on supply and demand, and it's bringing some relief for the moment to anyone filling up their car. State Senator Joel Carter, now the Energy Council chairman, and he's here with us to talk about all things energy. Good to see you, Senator.
Good to see you.
I didn't even know you had this role. We're talking about 14 states, 2 Canadian provinces. You're chairman of the Energy Council. What's that group's mission? What are you guys charged with?
So what we're trying to do is we focus on what good energy policy is for the U.S., try to keep costs down, and follow the national trends as far as the global trends, and suggest good policies and procedures to the various states and try to lead. So.
And being chairman, this is a nonpartisan legislative kind of organization.
I mean, Colorado's one of the states that participates, which is a blue state. So we're
blue You're labeling Colorado a blue state. Well, they are. They're a blue state, but they're participating in this, and they probably have some good ideas, and there are some good ideas within the green community. But the fact is that a lot of people are worried about where the current administration and a lot of others are going right now when it comes to oil and gas production.
Right. So you can look at it in multiple different ways. There is a need for every type of energy source in our country. You're never going to get rid of fossil fuels. I mean, your toothbrush is made with fossil fuels. We're making windmills with fossil fuels. I mean, how do you think they're lubricated? Solar panels were made with fossil fuels. Fossil fuels will always be needed. So this big conception that we're going to eliminate fossil fuels for renewable energy, it's a farce. It's not.
Well, you could say maybe one day, though.
I mean, I just don't.
100 years.
I mean, or if we're going to go back to Adam and Eve, where we're just wearing grass skirts and tree leaves. I mean, well,
there's great, but solar's good. I'm not sold on the wind turbines. You and I were talking about that. I think the wind farms are a disaster. But solar's good. They have this new story breaking this week with nuclear fusion. And I think nuclear plants in general, even though some countries for some reason are going away from it, there's good potential there.
Yeah, so what's happening is people are looking at the old coal-fired plants and thinking about transitioning them into smaller nuclear facilities and making them more readily available versus these massive ones that they did back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, they're starting to... Their lifespans they're at the end of the lifespan.
Well, you talk about the coal plant Daniel is set to go, be
26.
decommissioned, if that's the right word for it. They're going to go away from coal. They'll go with natural gas then?
That is what we've talked about. I think that this whole nuclear conversion is new. It's something that was being discussed, and it's going to be the future. I mean, it's clean. I mean, everybody's trying to get into this net zero portfolio where there's zero emissions, and nuclear is one of those type
people
of
I mean, you think about 3 Mile Island, you think about Chernobyl, people get a little scared, but really the technology today, those were both old. We have Grand Gulf up in Port Gibson, owned 90%, I think, by Entergy.
Yep, Entergy.
But that thing's old. That was like 1986 it went online. Does that thing need to be updated, or what have you heard about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just like all the rest of those power plants that were built back in that decade. Their lifespan's running out. Maintenance.
People know that?
No.
They're not talking about it and planning?
No, not really. I mean, I think that that's the problem with this whole green new energy that the Biden administration's pushing, is kind of putting a shade over what's really going on in the energy sector. So, I mean, we have to have thermal capacity. Bottom line, I'm with you. I think solar is a viable energy source, but it's not sustainable. It's not. Whenever you have, how the weather is down here. Yeah. We have a bad week where it rains all week, and it's cloudy, and you're not getting the sunlight that you need.
But you're storing your energy though from the good weeks.
Yeah, but our battery technology is not where it needs to be, in my opinion, and. And there's something that I mentioned to you earlier. Right now, they're testing hydrogen cell batteries, and they're working very well in colder areas because they stay hotter. And it's a way better source for batteries than lithium, because if you look at the lithium mining process, it's terrible for the environment. And I see in South America and the Middle East, those areas in China that are doing that. I see that affecting the groundwater one day.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left, and this is very complicated. I mean, I think you have to be a scientist to talk about this carbon capture. And this is actually kind of green environmental thinking.
It is.
In Mississippi, with the Richton salt domes, you've pushed a couple of bills. The state can make money, maybe landowners can make money, and we don't have a lot of time, Joel, but how does it work?
So we have the third largest pipeline system in the continental U.S. And so what they do is they use solvents to capture the CO2. It's mainly from concrete, steel, big industrial plants.
Where would that come from?
It comes from the emissions from those plants.
No, but how would it get here?
Through the pipeline system. So they pipeline it. There's 3 different places to store it. You can store it in the geology where there's porous rocky areas, ocean floor, and then old oil reserves that are empty now. So, and the salt dome is a great example of that.
Okay, is that going to go anywhere? I think it went somewhere in the House, didn't it?
No, well, we've passed 2 bills. The problem is you've got to set rules. You've got to make sure that you follow the guidelines, the federal guidelines, and set up a program has to be approved by the federal government in order to get those credits.
Okay. I'm going to ask my producer Jeffrey a question. How much time do we have left? Oh, we have 30 seconds. Okay, expecting a hot, remember you have 20 seconds. Expecting a hot, active legislative session in 2023?
I think it's going to be very quiet.
Election year.
Yep.
Is that why?
Yeah, 100%.
Get in, get out, get on the campaign trail? Is that how that's going to work?
Needs to happen that way.
Okay, all righty. Joel Carter with the Energy Council. Thanks for being with us. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks for watching. I'll see you back here next Sunday morning.